And welcome back, boys and girls, to the combat mission Red Thunder as our victory turns to defeat. Alright, so our infantry is firing back. Oh, maybe our plane will do something. Yes. I can hear it. But it seems to have flown away. Oh well. There you go. And our infantry is being rapidly thinned. And some of them are even retreating. Alright. Well, that's life. We are certainly not able to... Oh, and I see we're being fired at over here. And again. Was that 6 hits to this tank? And he's still standing? Probably won't take too many more. Although it would be funny if I just stood there and took it. Nope, destroyed. There we go. So we're down to 1 tank. Even our fake tank did not make the cut. Yeah, we can definitely not take this bit here. How did he get us? I thought, oh, right, because he moved. Clever. Alright, so we've got 1 more tank. We're going to place him in the village. And we're going to place these guys as well in the village. And we're just going to... we're just going to hope that the enemy presses ceasefire as well. Oh, I guess he did. Okay. Alright. Well then. Okay, I wasn't prepared for that. So we actually got a minor victory, or a tactical victory, which is just 1 point above minor. We got it on a bluff, really. I think we were mainly victorious because Mirek probably didn't want to just continue the slog for next 10 minutes, the next 10 turns, which would have taken us about 3 days, I think. And he gave in, and we were able to secure both the North Village and the South Village, which gave us a lot of points, and we had tremendous casualties, which are still acceptable, however. We've lost 35 men. 35 of our men are dead. 49 of the enemy are dead, though, which is quite a lot more. 18 of our guys are wounded, and 14 of his guys are wounded, and we've both lost 6 tanks each, which is quite a lot. I've lost 3 armored vehicles, which are armored cars. He lost 2 half-tracks, and he lost 1 other vehicle. That would be the Kubelwagen. Alright. So, yeah, and he's only got 22 men, but with those 22 men, well, he could probably take North Village, I imagine, just by using his 1 tank. Yeah, so we've managed to kill quite a lot of him. He killed less of us, but also quite a significant number. Right, let's review the map. And let's think about this. So, we had some successful tank crews, I think. These guys here destroyed the enemy half-track, so they were not hugely successful. Where's our other tank crews? Hello, tank crews. Oh, I see. He had 1 guy here. Just out of the deployment zone. I think if that guy was in the deployment zone, we wouldn't have it wouldn't have been counted as captured for us, which is, I guess, a shame. Well, a shame for my opponent. Where's our other tank crew? They must have been retreating this way. Okay. So these guys here, who have lost their commander, unfortunately, so I can't identify them by their last name like I did everyone else, but these guys took out 2 enemy Panzer IVs and 11 of enemy infantry. Who else have we got? We've got these guys. These guys didn't do anything because they got shot down at the beginning of the battle. These guys took out an enemy Panzer IV and 1 half-track and 15 of the enemy, which is quite a lot. That's like, if you think about it, that's 2 of these platoon of these teams completely wiped out. almost, which is pretty good. So these guys here only had one guy remaining. Too bad. We could have got that cannon, and if he had got that cannon, well, maybe things would have turned out differently. These guys, though, lost nothing. And these guys, wow. So that guy took out 2 of my T-34s. Are there any other tank crews? That guy took out an armored car. I don't see any other tank crews. I think they were successfully destroyed. Yeah, and infantry, not hugely effective. This guy took out an armored car, and this guy took out a T-34. So this is the guy who shot this tank at the beginning of the battle. All right, pretty good. Are there any more tank teams that we've got? You guys have nothing. Okay, and you guys have nothing. I think we had some other successful tankers that just get killed. Unfortunately, too bad. Oh, these guys. Oh, this is the armored car crew. Okay, our infantry, while no slouches themselves, they don't have quite a large number of well, quite a number of enemy casualties scored. What? Oh, this is a tank crew actually. I forgot. I thought this was an HQ team. So these guys took out a Panzer IV and 6 of the enemy. Yeah, so our tank's quite effective, although if I have to say, I think I used them quite rashly. I should have coordinated more, but I used the tanks very individualistically, all the way until the end, I guess, which put me in situations where I lost the tank and then I couldn't even capitalize on that. Oh, I see. There's a platoon. Okay. So I get the feeling, I mean, I don't know how this works, but it's like I look at the German force and all I see is HQ teams, and I don't understand why. I I'm pretty sure he had some sort of infantry, right? But all I ever spotted was HQ teams of one sort or another. Anyway, so I used my tanks very rashly, and all the victories I got with them were actually quite accidental in that a guy here got here and accidentally spotted something here and then he started firing at him. And most of my casualties as well were mostly accidental in the way that this guy here, the tank we lost in the very end, could have got away very easily had he not slowed down on that damn fence just like 5 seconds more and he'd have been safe, right? So yeah, stuff like that. This guy here as well. There really isn't that much. There aren't that many points here where this guy can actually fire. I mean, if he were moving slightly to the right or slightly to the left, he would have been safe, and he wouldn't have been fired at. Although he probably would have been fired at once he got around those houses, but that's besides the point. And again, here we put a tank here, and we just accidentally managed to find a place where we could fire at this gun all the bloody time, and pretty successfully. I mean, it mostly missed slightly to the left, but it did manage to take out 3 of the crew. Um, so, and he was out of HE as well, almost. Funny that. So, oh, and this guy was completely out of HE. Interesting. Not that much HE on guns. Yeah, so many situations like this. Again, here, although here was slightly more planned out, but still very accidental. This guy got out here. We immobilized him with infantry, as it turned out, and our T-34s just went here to the side, parked by this house, and one of them managed to fire off a shot. But they weren't supposed to. I think, although I might be getting this a little bit wrong by now, but I'm pretty sure that I didn't expect them to be able to fire from such a distance as they were. I was expecting them to move up into position and maybe fire if he was still behind the building like he was, right? So that sort of thing happened a lot. And in those sorts of situations, the tanks being veteran probably helped a lot. I mean, we had the, oh yeah, and this guy here, the green tank. Very annoyingly, got here, got accidentally spotted by the enemy, didn't spot them back, and got fired upon and died. He was supposed to be safe here as well, in this position as far as I remember. And yet he got killed. And that was a green crew, so they had completely no reaction whatsoever. So at least it helped in those situations that our crews were veterans, as I imagine were the enemies. Can't check that, can I? That was a hugely effective German tank there. 2 of my tanks and 13 of my infantry. This guy only killed an infantryman. Right, this guy killed 16. This guy killed... oh, that's the same guy. This guy killed an armored car and 2 infantry. 1 infantry. Nobody. Nobody. This guy. 1 T-34, 1 armored car, and 3 infantry. Yeah. So, but I can't see whether they're veterans or regulars or what. These guys are regular. And they did pretty well, right? I mean, they did take out 2 T-34s, although one of them was gimpy. This one here. So yeah, in those sort of dueling situations with the accident, where the accident is basically how they begin. It mostly tends to be the experience of the crew, I think, and just the random chance of them spotting first, firing first, stuff like that, that decides these things. And I have a problem with letting myself get into these situations, and I'm not sure how I get in them. But I do tend to put myself into such situations and just very uncarefully move my tanks, especially if I have a lot of them. Once I got like 3, I seem to be much better at figuring out where they should go and doing things effectively with them. But if I have 6, I tend to lose a lot of them initially, which is probably just my impatience. Yeah, our infantry was hugely effective in the way that it managed to take the town very handily, very quickly, very efficiently with the use of our armored car and 1 tank as backup. And although as far as I know, they were only the houses were only defended by HQ teams, so I guess that was just how it had to be. But yeah, so my infantry game I think was pretty good. They also managed to immobilize a tank, which was great. It was great fun. Just having them assault and ping their little grenades on him. Right over here. Yeah. Excuse me, I've got hiccups as well. So I think my infantry game is pretty good, especially in the town. I think my anti-tank game and my tank game is still lacking. Still something I have to look at, and I have to improve very much. In that respect, I think Mirek is a much more capable tank player. He was unlucky a couple of times, but a lot of the times, I think he did a much better job at it. On the other hand, I would have used... Well, it's interesting that he did use half tracks this time, which is probably what I would have done as well, to get his infantry into the town as quickly as possible. But once they were in the town, he didn't seem to do very much with them. In that, well, I guess my side of town was better in the way that I could position infantry along an extended line, whereas he had to put them in about 3 or 4 cottages that were all clumped up and didn't give him a great area of fire. But I also think I had better spotters on the side and stuff like that. Yeah, so anyway, I was saying that once he got here, he really got stuck in those four huts for some reason, or a couple of huts. Whoa, we blew a hole in there. Holy crap. Was it us? I think it was us. Cool. All right. I don't think I've ever blown a hole in the houses yet. I'm surprised there isn't a hole here somewhere. Oh, but there is, isn't there? Is there? No. Because they were shooting at this house like crazy, and I thought they there might be a chance that they'd destroy it from that 88 over there, but fortunately not. Anyways, so I was saying he got his infantry here and he moved up a little tiny bit, but somehow it didn't seem like it was an advance, and they weren't really supporting each other because later when we were trying to take out the houses, we didn't contend with crossfire or anything like that. As opposed to the enemy, where when he was withdrawing, he got crossfire from like these houses here, like this one and this one and this one here, all of them at once. Or was it? Or maybe it was this one. All of them at once, and they couldn't withdraw. They just got um, well, torn into bits basically. Whereas we never had that situation. When we were advancing, we were able to quite handily do it without too much enemy resistance. So I wonder whether he just didn't want to move up, or whether he was hindered by our presence, or what exactly was going on. Um, then again, German forces aren't as good in close quarters fighting as we are. So yeah, for example, this support company HQ. One commander with an MP40 and two guys with a car. Um, well, this is a loader with an MG34. That's a pretty handy unit to have somewhere. Um, this is a company HQ. That's probably a tanker, though, I imagine, because they only have pistols, and so does this guy, and these guys only have pistols too. So I imagine they are tankers as well. Yeah. So strangely enough, he didn't even put any scouts on the sides here to figure out what was going on until he lost a platoon HQ. Unless he had some scouts and moved them out, but I don't think that happened. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely could have played this. I think I could have won this game. Well, because I kind of consider this a draw. I mean, it says it's a tactical victory, but really, it's if he did persevere those next 10 turns, he probably would have pushed me out of here, and that would have been a draw, I think. Um, we gave him more casualties, but he would have probably taken a huge toll on these guys here. Like, these guys were in there for like 5 seconds, and they came back with half their squad gone. So I think he would have really handily, easily pushed me out of here, and then he would have had much more victory points, and it would have been at least a draw. I still don't think he could have taken this, because I just put my tank somewhere here. It would have just paid attention to the approaches. The enemy would approach. I'd probably get the first shot off or something like that. If not, he would have to find all my infantry, and believe me, as soon as he would have started moving up on here, my infantry would suddenly get very small firing arcs and the hide order. And I'd basically try to do everything in my power to get someone to survive in the South Village and take out the enemy tank. Once the enemy tank has been taken out, I would have been I would have been able to secure South Village without any problems whatsoever, and still not be able to take North Village at all. So yeah, that's how it looks from my side. That's how I think the game would have gone if we played the next 10 minutes. Yeah, I think I could have played much better using my tanks, and I think I played a pretty good game with my infantry. I think my opponent played a much poorer game with his infantry than he should have, I think, and because they gave me no trouble at all. But his tanks were fearsome and difficult to kill, and well placed always, and always in a position where I couldn't do anything against them, or maybe I could, but I couldn't see how I could do anything against them. Like, right here, right now. He's just standing here in the open. I have a very difficult time getting to him. Before that, he was neatly tucked away here, which meant he didn't really bother me when I was firing at those guns, but just the second I moved up, he popped out in the right place and took out my remaining tanks. Two of them, right? So, yeah, a much better armored game. I also liked his placement of the guns. He definitely thought about it. I imagine he picked out his forces after looking at the preview of the map to figure out how many guns he needs and where to place them. And yeah, and he placed them pretty efficiently, just securing this flank altogether. I could make no approaches on this flank at all until I got rid of these guns, and I couldn't even make a serious approach to the north village until I get rid of these guns. I could have used some smoke or something like that to blind them for temporarily and get into the town, but yeah, that is a valuable asset, smoke ammunition on an artillery, that I probably wouldn't have wanted to use, or I probably would have used it earlier for something else and wouldn't have later on. Although if I did have mortars, I could probably take care of these guys, because I could just put down mortar fire on each of them, find a spotter who would see them, which wasn't particularly difficult, because right now we have two spotters on this gun. This one was slightly more difficult. We had to get way into the town to see these guys, but we could do area fire somewhere here. We could have put down some mortars on them, which might have had a better effect than firing a lot of inaccurate HE fire, which was pretty effective nevertheless, but not effective enough. All right, so mortars would have been useful, and I think um, whatever their sort of aiming time and aiming effectiveness is, they are worthwhile to have at least one battery of mortars for any Soviet force that has to deal with something static of the Germans. Um, yeah, our plane didn't really do a hugely uh, great job this game, I think. Um, can I check him? No, I can't. I think he took out this tank. Pretty sure he did, but that's about it. Although, well, one tank in this game was a huge thing, but he also fired at my own stuff, and I think yeah, he was definitely a random element, and I still like that, to be honest. But I was expecting slightly more, especially with those guns parked here. I was hoping he could take care of them at several points in the game, and he did fire at these guys and probably took out one or two of them, but yeah, this gun here, completely not bothered by our plane, as far as I remember. They have one wounded, not a casualty, but just light wounded, and everyone else is fine, and that is inexcusable. So yeah, I always hope the plane to take out stuff like that, with bombs, with machine guns, with cannons, whatever, and they only rarely seem to do that. Nevertheless, they're fun and interesting things, and slightly cheaper than mortars, I think. And you don't have to plan them out. Anyway, so quite a lot of wreckage on this particular battlefield. A very tank-heavy engagement. A very interesting and dynamic game with a lot of twists and turns. As I initially ended up in a very bad situation, then ended up in a very good situation, and then again in a very bad situation as I kept losing tanks. And then finally, I was in a situation where I could probably win the game, just take North Village and eliminate the last tank and guns, and I messed it up, and it ended up in more or less a draw. Anyways, so that's it. We'll be probably starting another game very soon with Mirek, because we enjoyed the game, and I imagine he'll have a bit of revenge on his mind, I imagine. We might play another probe or something like that, although I'll be the one defending, possibly. Because to be honest, I ended up attacking here as well, or assaulting is the right word, I guess. And I'm really tired of that. I'd rather sit back for a little bit and have a bit of a chill out game, I guess. Um, yeah, but we'll see. I guess it's his turn to pick the fight, so whatever he picks goes. Anyway, um, so yeah, that's the game. I hope you liked it. See you guys in the next game. Bye.